Okay, hi guys, welcome to our November general meeting. Today's meeting schedule is going to be, we're going to go over our club announcements. Our meeting today is for guest speakers, NICU nurses, Elizabeth and Rebecca. Stay behind after the meeting for our meeting photo and then closing announcements.
All right, so for NSA memberships, if you would like to join us, you can scan that QR code on the far left. It'll take you to a sheet to fill out all of your information. And under the green leaf there, we have our national SNA, which is just the national branch of NSA. It reads a little bit different on the website, but it is $45 a year. You would complete that on the national website separate from our chapter membership as well. And then once you're a member, we'll begin tracking your hours of participation. It's 10 hours per year that you were in the program. So if you are a traditional student, that means you would need 40 hours over the course of your time here. And then it's 20 hours for ABSN students. So if you want to go ahead and scan the far right, that is the membership application for us. Some important announcements.
So this was the jacket winner for the design contest. So if you were the designer, you'll be receiving messaging from us and then giving you further directions. For the this is for the t-shirt sales. Yes. They are to be delivered sometime around Thanksgiving break, I believe. There will be more detailed announcements once we have more information on that. Mm-hmm. And as far as distribution, it'll most likely begin on the 28th and go through the 1st of December. So please disregard that typo. And it'll be out of EC 105.
The Students
Success Center. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then for membership updates, our current member count is 77 members. If you are not one of those members, please join us soon. We currently have a total membership hours of 480, and our total number of club hours is 1,849 and 25 minutes. Some important notices regarding hours. Anytime you attend an event, do a volunteer opportunity that is associated with NSA, please send a screenshot, fill out the attendance form, do the QR code. We need proof that you participated in order to give you hours, and then update the tracking sheet that we have, which if you would like to check on your hours, you can find that on our website. There is a link that will take you to a big spreadsheet. You can see your name, your hours, and usually how many hours you need for that to get that cord. So speaking of the cords, if you are graduating this spring, May 23, and you sign up in spring, you will not be eligible for the cord. You'll just be a member. So if you do want to earn that cord, please sign up and earn hours. You want to sign up this semester. Before the end of this semester, I recommend ASAP if you're graduating. Your deadline to earn hours for your cord is going to be March 10th, 2023. One more time, March 10th. Sign up before the end of this semester, and you can get that nice fancy cord so you can have a little something with your graduation regalia. Menstrual drive update. Krista's got this. And Krista, can you tell us how big these boxes are?
I don't know how to approximate the boxes, but I think the boxes are like a pretty substantial size in terms of like the 4 boxes that we did raise. But thank you to everyone that participated in our menstrual drive. We raised around 4 boxes of menstrual products for the women at Camp Pendleton for Helping Hand Worldwide, and I will be dropping off the boxes to Sita Helms, who is the founder of the organization, sometime this week, and I'm sure she's going to be very thankful for our donation. So thank you for those who participated. Next slide. So some current volunteer opportunities and events. We have our JDRF one walk. So we have our JDRF one walk It's going to be on December 3rd on a Saturday, and the shifts depends on what shift you're going to volunteer for. So they can range from 5:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. The shift options are on the right, so I just organized it based on the hours. So you can volunteer for 2 hours or 5 hours, and it's going to be located at Anaheim Stadium. And if you want to volunteer for this event, you have to volunteer, or you have to sign up through the Google Sheet and through the registration link and the QR code below. You have to sign up for both so we know who's going to participate. And you have to volunteer through the registration link to have it in the JDRS system. And if you want to have access to these, to this opportunity and other opportunities, there's a QR code on the top right with our fall 2022 activity spreadsheet. So yeah, that's basically it. Next slide. And then for this week, we have the Orangewood Foundation Thanksgiving Drive on November 18th and 19th. That's a Friday and Saturday. And it's going to be similar to the menstrual drive that we did in October. And the shift times range from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. And you can sign up for more than one 1-hour shift if you'd like. We would appreciate that. The location is going to be at the Ralph near Fullerton. It's at 3330 Yorba Linda Boulevard. It's a 3-minute drive from campus and a 15-minute walk from campus as well. And we'll be doing the same thing as we did in the last drive. So we'll just be handing out promotional flyers to incoming customers at Ralph. But this time our cause is that we're going to raise Thanksgiving products for foster youth that are struggling with homelessness and or are aging out of the system. So if you're interested in this opportunity, scan the QR code below to put your name down on the volunteer sign up sheet. Next slide.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to introduce them really quick. We have 2 guest speakers today, and like I mentioned earlier, it's going to be a Q&A style. I'm just going to give them the opportunity to introduce themselves and give a little bit of background, and then everyone else can just kind of chime in with questions. You can either send them through the chat, and then I'll ask them to them, or you can raise your hand using the Zoom setting, and then we'll call you to ask your question to both of them. So I will go ahead and turn it to Elizabeth.
Hi guys, I'm Elizabeth. As the slide shows, I work NICU night shift. I got my degree at the University of San Francisco, but I am originally from Los Angeles. I've been a nurse already for 4 years now. So in those 4 years, I started off working in maternity on a day shift. So I've been really lucky because I got into a specialty and on a day shift position. And then in the same hospital, I transferred into the NICU unit night shift. So I really wanted to do NICU, so I had to give my day shift position, but it's okay. It's been okay, pretty great. And then apart from that, I also worked at the Pepperdine Student Health Center for about 3 years. I had to quit because I just couldn't do it working night shift and then working at a clinic during the day. But as far as future, I want to continue being in the NICU and, like it says there, obtain my specialty. And I do want to pursue my education. I just don't know on what yet. So still deciding.
Thank you. I'm going to go to Rebecca.
Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca. I'm also working in NICU night shift. I get to work with my BFF, Elizabeth. It's definitely been great having her there. It was my precept. Definitely ask her a lot of questions because she's just the best. As far as my journey, I stayed close by. I went to community college, which was less than 10 minutes away from my house. I went to College of the Canyons to get my ADN, and I did a dual enrollment after my semester, and I started with National University. It's based in San Diego. I only had to, it was like a hybrid class, and I only had to go once a week at College of the Canyons as well. So I started off working as an RN supervisor at a skilled nursing facility just until I got my BSN, completed it. And then once I finished my BSN, I applied at hospitals and I got into maternity. I was night shift, so that hasn't been too difficult to go from night shift to night shift, but we are hoping in the future Elizabeth and I will be able to go to day shift, because after a couple years it does start to wear on you a little bit. For future career goals, I would also like to obtain a specialty in NICU, which is also called our RNC. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a big fan of school. I don't like writing essays and doing reports, but a big passion of mine would be to help in IVF clinics and fertility. So one of the things that I would have to do is get my master's in fertility. So we'll see. I most likely will end up doing it because it has been something I've always wanted. But you can also do so many things with just your RN license, get certifications. There's so many certifications out there, and nursing can go so many different ways. So I've been a nurse for 3.5 years. So we'll see where we go.
Thank you, Becca. So we're going to move on to the Q&A portion of the meeting. So this is open to anyone, so you guys can raise your hand and then unmute yourselves, or you can send questions in the chat. You can ask them stuff about school, their career, just anything you really want insight from someone with their background. And Courtney, do you want to start with a question?
Thank you.
We work at Valley Presbyterian Hospital. It's in Van Nuys, California. So it's a pretty busy delivery hospital, which is really cool. There's a lot of NICU, obviously, units, like in many hospitals, like Children's, UCLA obviously are the most, I think they're 4th level. So all of the sicker babies of the whole, I think, county code or something like that, we're at level 3. So we do see a lot, but when the cases get a little bit too, when we don't have the resources to take care of them, that's when they get transferred. And then what's cool about our hospital is we have a delivery room, so we're able to see the baby from the delivery room until they're discharged for the most part.
Correct. A lot of things have changed. Sorry, it's a little staticky. Let me wait for it to balance out. So before, our hospital used to do a lot more procedures in-house until Holy Cross, new Henry Mayo opened up, and now they're kind of like diverting a lot of our cases. But not that Elizabeth and I saw it, but we used to take care of a lot sicker kids on our floor.
Yeah. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
What drew you guys to working in the NICU? I know a lot of people have interest in nursing school right now in L&D or NICU, but like, what was it for you that made you know that like this is the unit for me?
You want to go first, Becca? Because you've always wanted to do NICU.
I have always wanted to do NICU, but sometimes I can get very anxious, and NICU ended up seeming like, oh my God, this is this might be a little crazy. I think just working at the SNF with adults, and especially during COVID time, I got a little scared and said, okay, you know what? I can do just SNF and maybe maternity. But just when we would go to deliveries and L&D, or when we would help out, and this is personally just our hospital, but it was just very chaotic and had a lot to do with management, that you would just see the turnover was insane. Nobody stayed more than a year, and they were unhappy throughout their whole training. So I knew that L&D was something I now didn't want to do, because it was still something that I thought. I was in between NICU and L&D, but after seeing just how happy some of our coworkers were and how hesitant some of our coworkers were to go to L&D, I decided, you know what, maybe NICU is gonna be my route, and I love it, and I wouldn't change it, and I'm so happy that I am where I am.
I personally never expected to go into NICU.
That's all.
I remember I only had one rotation in that unit in nursing school, and we had a cooling kid. And as a student, I wasn't able to do much, and I just thought, oh, NICU is so boring. So I just totally X that unit out, I guess. But I did my preceptorship in postpartum, and I loved it. Just like forming that relationship with mom and baby, all of the stuff we do. But as I continued working there, I realized that like my passion was really primarily the babies, and it sucks because in maternity, like you assess the babies, but you're really more focused on the mom because you're doing all the teaching with the mom. So when we would take like some of our NICU moms that we would have down to NICU, I was always just very curious like about the babies that were down there. And I just felt that I needed a career change. I wanted to be challenged, and NICU, you do so many skills, like you start IVs on the baby. You do so much. So I was a little scared to make that change, but Becca went there before me, and she was kind of that like guiding factor. So we both transferred there like 1 month of time from each other. So yeah, that's what interested me in NICU, and I love it so far. It's great.
Thank you both for sharing. We have a question in the chat. It says, did you have to apply to many hospitals before getting into maternity? And I believe that's for Elizabeth to answer.
Yes. Valley Press was the only hospital I applied for. That was a specific maternity unit. The other hospitals I applied for were like adult care, and I didn't get any job opportunities. They're the only one that offered me a job was Valley Press. So yes, I was meant to be there.
And I guess I can turn that question over to Becca. After you applied and worked at the SNF, how long after did you wait to apply to Valley Press for your job there?
So technically, you're still a new grad. This was pre-COVID. You're still a new grad as long as you haven't worked for over a year. So I graduated from my BSN in December, and then the next all hospitals, their next new grad program was gonna of 2020, so right when COVID started. And so I applied to hospitals for their new grad program, and I got Valley Press. So it wasn't I didn't feel like I waited too long. I felt like it was from the moment I got my BSN. If I had originally gone to a school that had offered my BSN, then that process was not long, because I had other friends that because we all did different routes for BSN, all of us, and a lot of them took about 6 months. So overall, from my ADN to working at the hospital was 9 months, but most of it was because I was still working. I was still in school.
Thank you. I guess I have a question for you guys. While you guys were in nursing school, like, was there a specialty like you had your like heart set on before applying anywhere, and it just like completely shifted, or how did that go about when you guys were applying for new grad programs?
Well, I was always interested in maternity. Oh, do you want to go first?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. I was, like I said, I did my preceptorship in maternity, so that's what I wanted to do. But,
You go ahead.
huh? I think you're delayed. Can you hear me?
You
Good?
too.
Okay. I've always wanted to do maternity. So unfortunately, at least at the time I was applying, which was in 2018, I don't know about now, but there wasn't much opportunity to go into maternity as a new grad, like that had a specific new grad program. The only one I saw was the one I applied for. So even if I wanted to go into maternity, I wasn't picky. I was just applying to any new grad program in the area. So yeah, I got lucky.
Okay.
What about for Becca?
And for me, I always wanted to work with kids. I was like, maybe CHLA, maybe I'll do oncology, anything with kids. I didn't really think of maternity. I don't see myself as a teacher, but that was the only thing available. And I thought it would be a stepping stone into L&D or NICU. And then I explained what happened with L&D. So NICU ended up being for me.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys. We have some questions in the chat that Courtney's going to read for you.
So Tressa wants to know, how many babies do you usually care for on any particular day? And what are your top 3 favorite things about working NICU?
I think that's one of the things I love about the NICU. We do have ratios. So the most you could have, at least here in California, is 3 babies to 1 nurse. So depending on their acuity, the 3 babies are what we call the grower feeders. So they're for the most part off oxygen, and they're not discharged yet because they can't finish the bottle, like they can't nipple the whole volume. So that's the 3, and then 1 to 2 would be babies on oxygen, maybe on IV meds, and then 1 to 1 is obviously a super critical baby. My top 3 favorite things. I think my most favorite thing is being able to see, just follow the journey of the baby, especially when it's like a 24, 25 weeker, like you do see that whole development, like the change in their skin, like their faces change, you know, from when they're that little to when they're a newborn. And then just, they're so resilient. They go through so much, but they're such little fighters. That's probably one of my top favorite things, following their journey. And then I guess the top 2 is that, at least in my NICU, we're all a team. So we all work together. It's not kind of like, oh, this is only my baby, like only I take care of it. Like if you're struggling or like it looks like you need help, like a nurse will step in and help you. Because for the most part, like those babies are there for a while. So we all get to know their history, even if you're not the one taking care of them. So it's a really good team environment. My top 2.
Thank you, Becca.
For the most part, because you have help, you leave on time. You're gonna leave on time. The only problem you wouldn't is if you get an admission at the end of the shift, which babies love to do that. Wait till that last minute. I was born at 6:30, so I apologize to the nurses that had to deal with me. Why did I choose that? Problematic from the beginning, I guess. But even then, no, it'll be half hour to the most. So as far as workflow, you'll get done on time. You'll get done on time, and you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. No matter how crazy your shift is, kids are okay. Family's gonna be okay. To add on to Elizabeth, not only do we get to see them grow during their stay, but so many parents will also send us videos, or they'll send us photos of the kids as they're starting to walk, as they're starting to talk. And we have a high infant risk clinic which is where we have all our premature babies, but a lot of our babies that may require a little bit of extra therapy, nutrition. They come back to our clinic at about 6 months, and we get to see them grow there as well. So I've heard stories over a year in NICU, but we've heard stories of kids graduating, becoming doctors, and they come back and even invite some of the doctors to their graduation. So it's very nice to know that our kids are going to live fulfilling lives. And that's why no matter how sick they are when they first come to us, you know that this is most likely this is the hardest time. And being able to talk to families, talk to caregivers, and support them, and my job worth it. Really does.
That's so sweet. Thank you, Rebecca and Elizabeth, for
Sorry,
sharing.
there's a bit of a lag.
It's okay. No worries. So we have another question in the chat. It says, I guess both of you can answer. We'll start with Elizabeth. What is one piece of advice you would give to new nurses or new graduate nurses?
I do want to go back. I think there's another question. Says, how long was your training process? So as a new grad, when I applied, it was, well, the new grad program itself was 1 year long, where we would go and kind of like touch base with a group of other nurses that were also new. That was just kind of like to have a safe space to talk about our journey. And then they gave us like PowerPoint presentations. But as far as training on the unit, it was 3 months with a preceptor, and then you were on your own. And same thing when I transferred into the NICU, they trained me for 3 months as well with the preceptor, and then I went to night shift on my own. So 12 weeks, that was the training process. Rebecca had a different experience, but we had 3 months training. And then one piece of advice I would give, just don't give up. It's nursing school, obviously it's tough. And sometimes you experience setbacks, whether it's maybe not getting the grade you want on the test. And then maybe like when you take the NCLEX, maybe not passing it on the first time. And then once you get to the interview process, like getting frustrated because you're doing interviews and not hearing back. So just always believe in yourself, like you will find the job. I believe that's like the most fitting for you. I'm a big believer that wherever you end up is like where you're meant to be, but just overall, like, don't give up.
Thank you, Betsy. So we're gonna move to Rebecca if she wants to answer those questions as well.
So our training process is same in maternity. We got our 3 months. I had 3 months with Elizabeth during day shift, and then I switched to night shift, and I got 2 weeks extra, just because it's a little bit different on night shift. Just we weigh babies, and we give there's different ones that we give, and some procedures are different just because there is less. We don't have secretaries at night. At the beginning, we didn't have CNAs, but overall, it's not too much different. And then for Nevin, I had expressed that I had wanted to go to NICU to my manager for since I started in maternity. They tried sending everyone, Elizabeth included, to L&D, but we were like, we're not interested. And I expressed I was interested in NICU. So every now and then my manager would reach out to the NICU manager. And they always said, there's no availability. There probably won't be any availability so much, specialized. And you should just go to L&D. But 6 months later, I talked to my manager again, and she said, if you're interested, they're experiencing some very high acuity and a lot of staff left. So the manager would like to talk to you. I talked to the manager, and she agreed to let me on board for 1 month, as if I was a floating maternity nurse. So our float pool in maternity was we can go to L&D to help recover babies. NICU was also our float pool, but we usually would never go to NICU because they tended to not need us. But for 1 month, I was just going to go and help them and just work with grower feeders. And after that month, if I liked it, if they liked me, then I could apply and get 3 months of training. But during that month, we still had a lot of staff that left. Our high acuities remained. So they decided if there's ever a day that was short, then I would get trained. So I started in September, but I didn't get one training day until December. I think I got 3 days in December, 5 days in January. And then in March, I went to day shift, but at that time, we had very little babies, and most of those babies were babies that had already been taken care of on my own. They didn't get to experience a true training in NICU. So you really just had to advocate and say, can you guys please assist me? I had never started an IV, and I remember my first shift alone, I had to start an IV. And asked for, definitely because NICU was so team-oriented, I didn't feel like it was unsafe. And then as far as so that was the training process. And then I forgot the let me see. Oh, as far as advice, so similar to Elizabeth, I always tell students, this is going to be the hardest time of your life. You're sleep deprived. Are always thinking of, okay, you know, like everything and anything, and you're just expected to be at 200% at nursing school. Your hair needs to be this way, and your shoes need to be this way, and it's just a lot of stuff that when you go to NICU, or I'm sorry, when you go to the hospital and you're working as a nurse, I could have my hair like this and nobody's gonna care. So yes, it's stressful, and NCLEX is stressful, interviews are stressful. I can't tell you how many times I cried because I was like, maybe nursing isn't for me. But no, it's just the stress. Is you have to do so much in such a little time. But I promise you're actually gonna be like, can I work? Because I have 4 days off and I already read every book in the library, and I've already watched everything on Netflix. And why are all my friends working? Like, what's a 9 to 5? So definitely become friends with the nurses around you, so you guys can go on trips or do something, because after 3-4 years, you've already done everything on your days off. And I know it seems like you're never gonna have time to just breathe, but you will. You're almost there. You're gonna get there.
Thank you guys so much for sharing. We're coming to our last 5 minutes of the Q&A portion of today's meeting. I don't know if there's any last minute questions that anyone would like to ask, but I'll also open this to Elizabeth and Rebecca for a closing message to our students. We have some current crit care students, med-surg students. We have pre-nursing students who aren't in the program just yet. Just any words of advice and encouragement, especially because we're heading into finals, would be really nice from you guys, especially because you guys are where we want to be in a few years.
Well, first of all, just thank you guys for having me and Rebecca. Good luck on your finals. it doesn't feel like it right now. Sorry, that's ignore him. It doesn't feel like it right now, but time will fly. Like all of a sudden you'll just wake up and be like, oh my God, like I'm exactly where I wanted to be, and now what, you know? So just even if it's stressful, like enjoy this process. You will get to your end goal and it will be worth it.
Thank you, Becca.
Yes, thank you guys so much for having us. It's been a pleasure. Again, I never thought, okay, I would be here talking with you guys. I was also part of NSNA and the pinning ceremony, and we used to have to plan our own graduation. But good luck on finals. I hope you guys get to enjoy a little bit of Thanksgiving dinner, and I hope you guys get a little of the break, because I know that there's still so much that you guys have to do. But please reach out to us. Leslie, you know, you're more than welcome to hand out her email, and you're gonna make it. You're gonna make it, and don't compare yourself to anybody else's journey, because everyone's journey is so different, and they're just on different spectrums, because nursing can take you so far. So if you finish your school and you say, you know what, I hate nursing, you hate bedside nursing, find something else, find what you like and put them together. Okay. And I feel you, I hate school too. That's why I don't want to do my master's, but I'll probably do it. I feel you guys.
Thank you so much, Becca and Elizabeth. That was amazing. Thank you guys for your time. I know you guys are busy, especially on night shifts, so you guys would probably be asleep right now if you weren't with us. So thank you so much for your guys' time again. And I hope everyone got what they wanted and asked all the questions. I will free you guys now to get some rest. I don't know if y'all work tonight or not, but thank you so much again for your time.
Photo.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, JK.
Thank you.
Wait, Betsy.
Of course. Good night.
Yeah.
Do you guys mind taking a photo really quick? Just a screenshot so we have it.
Can everyone turn on their cameras, please, just for a second? We're just gonna do our November photo. Sorry, you guys. Oh my goodness.
See if I can. Because my
Okay.
camera's a little.
Hello.
Thanks, you guys.
I love that.
Okay. Who wants to do the screenshot? Oh my god.
I'll do the screenshot.
Okay.
Okay, wait.
Alright.
Here we go.
Anna,
Last couple seconds to turn on your camera.
Right.
We have 3 people, no cameras. It's okay, guys. Don't be shy.
It's all good.
Screenshot shift command 3.
dude, I don't have a Mac.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I'll just take it with the people who are here. Anna, Ariana, it's okay to be shy. I'll just take it. Okay, ready?
Oh, they're turning on.
Oh,
Oh.
yay!
There we go. Okay. Still no Anna.
Okay, cool. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. I'll take one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, yay! Thank you. Just a few more announcements before y'all leave. The speakers are free to go, but announcements, you guys need your attendance thing. Give me 1 second. Share. Okay. So we took the photo. Oh,
Hello?
it's sharing. It's sharing.
It's thinking.
Technical difficulties. Okay, we did this. Okay. So this is the link for our NSA Discord. If you guys aren't on it yet, our board members do a good job at sending announcements through here. It's also a way to communicate and connect with other NSA members.
Ask
Yeah.
questions, whatever you need.
Absolutely. And then these are all of our social media. Instagram is a great place to be. We also have Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, our subscription list, and our website. I think Instagram is like the one we update the most, right?
Instagram and the website are the most accurate. The YouTube channel is going to be where you want to go to rewatch any of our meetings. So if you weren't here and you're watching this on YouTube right now, hello. You can also get meeting points for that. I believe the max is 2 rewatches. So keep that in mind. It's per semester.
Yay. Okay, and this is for attendance. If some of y'all are driving, like I see someone driving right now, we'll take note of your name. I saw you were here the whole meeting, but feel free to email our membership chair if you guys were here. But please scan it. If you're able to scan it so you have proof of this, or take a screenshot of the meeting.
John, since you're driving, I'm just gonna send Abigail a note that you were here for the meeting. Don't worry about it.
And for those who are rewatching this on YouTube, the code that you would insert to the Google form will be Turkey.
Turkey. Oh, yay. Okay. And thank you guys for coming. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving break. I know I'm ready for it. Bye guys. Have a good rest of your day.
You don't have to.
Yeah. Take a break.
Thank you.
Bye.